Trey Hendrickson's contract drama just took another turn, and now Joe Burrow is quietly stepping into the spotlight. What he reportedly said might surprise you. But before we dive into the latest Bengals update, if you live and breathe Bengals football, hit that subscribe button, like the video, and don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss a single update. Let's get into it. The Bengals offseason has been packed with noise, and one name that keeps coming up is Trey Hendrickson. At first, it looked like Joe Burrow was fully behind Hendrickson in these negotiations, supporting the idea that his teammate should get what he's worth. But now, reports suggest that Burrow's stance has shifted. According to a recent ESPN insider update, Burrow is taking a more neutral tone. He's not pointing fingers at the front office, coaching staff, or even the locker room. Instead, he's keeping the pressure on himself, saying that as the quarterback and leader of this team, he's the one responsible for getting things done. That mindset says everything about why Burrow is built different. Still, there's no ignoring the impact Hendrickson has on this team. If this situation drags out, the Bengals could be walking into week 1 without their top pass rusher, and that's a dangerous game to play, because let's be honest, Cincinnati can't afford another slow start. If this team wants to make a serious playoff run, it has to come out swinging. No more September stumbles, no more digging out of early season holes. It's now or never, and all eyes are on Burrow to lead that charge, contract chaos or not. Joe Burrow isn't the type to stir the pot publicly, but when he calls something a distraction, you know it's serious. Burrow reportedly recognizes how important it is to get Trey Hendrickson's contract sorted, and what's more, he knows the weight it carries inside the locker room. It's not just about Hendrickson anymore. This is about a pattern, a lingering perception that the Bengals hesitate when it's time to pay their stars. Now, to be fair, Cincinnati has shown they'll spend big, especially with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, but the shadow of past hesitation still hangs over the team like a dark cloud. And when your franchise quarterback starts showing signs of frustration, even in a subtle, professional way, it sends a message. Burrow isn't calling anyone out. That's not his style. He's a leader who keeps things in-house and shoulders the responsibility. But make no mistake, he knows that if the Bengals want to make a serious playoff run, they need their top defensive weapon on the field. Trey Hendrickson was one of the few bright spots on a defense that struggled last season. Without him, that unit takes a big step backward. With him, it's a different story. Burrow's support for his teammates isn't new. He pushed hard for Jamar. He backed T. And now, he's making it clear, Hendrickson deserves to be in that conversation too. If Cincinnati wants to chase a Super Bowl, they can't afford to fumble this one. There's still hope in Cincinnati that Trey Hendrickson becomes the third major piece the front office locks up long term. He's earned it. But the situation isn't that simple. Yes, the Bengals have cap space. That's not the problem. The issue. How far are they willing to go? This front office plays the long game. They're cautious, maybe even too cautious. Whether it's guaranteed money or long-term flexibility, they've always been strategic. And while that approach has helped them stay competitive, it's also put them in tough spots like this one. But Hendrickson isn't just another player. He's been one of the best in the league when it comes to pressure rate, not just sacks. Pressure rate is what truly rattles quarterbacks. It's what forces mistakes. It's what ruins third downs before they ever have a chance. And Hendrickson? He's been doing that at an elite level. Even last year, while facing double, sometimes triple, teams, he was the lone constant bringing heat. And now, imagine removing him from that equation. With Hendrickson gone, this Bengals defense faces a major identity crisis. You already had quarterbacks getting too comfortable. Now, take away the only guy consistently forcing them to move. That's a dangerous scenario for a team with championship expectations. Sure, there are young guys in camp flashing potential, and that's encouraging. But let's be real. Trey Hendrickson is a proven weapon. He's not a maybe. He's a must. And if the Bengals truly want to finish what they've started with this core, they can't let a player like that walk out the door. The Bengals have to figure this out, period. Because right now, this Hendrickson situation is turning into the most complicated contract standoff of the offseason. According to insider Jeremy Fowler, even though negotiations between the Bengals and Trey Hendrickson have recently picked back up, there's still no deal in place. And here's the heart of the issue. Hendrickson wants long-term security. He's 30, yes, but he's still playing at a top 5 pass rusher level in the NFL. And he's not interested in a short-term patchwork contract. He wants a deal that reflects his impact and consistency. But the Bengals are hesitant. They've always been cautious with money and contract length, especially when it comes to veterans. And unless they bend a little, this could get worse. We're not just talking about missing a few practices. Missing training camp, even missing regular season games, is now a very real possibility. Sure, Hendrickson has been seen training near the facility. He's still around Cincinnati, but his absence from minicamp and the looming threat of sitting out camp entirely can't be ignored. And here's the twist. Joe Burrow isn't backing him the way people expected. Burrow has chosen his words carefully, but he's made it clear. He doesn't blame the Bengals. He's not siding with the front office, but he's also not applying pressure on their behalf. That changes the dynamic. Because as much as Hendrickson wants leverage, the truth is, he doesn't have as much as he thinks. He's still under contract this year. He's not a free agent. If he were, yes, he'd absolutely command a top-tier deal on the open market. But under this current setup, the Bengals hold more cards than he does. Let's be honest, Trey Hendrickson doesn't have the upper hand here. He's still under contract. He's still owed $16 million this season. And let's not forget, this was an extension he willingly signed. So no matter how loud the negotiations get, the leverage simply isn't on his side. Now, at one point, it looked like Hendrickson might have had a powerful ally, Joe Burrow. When your franchise quarterback is pushing for you to get paid, that means something. And maybe that gave Hendrickson confidence. Maybe he thought, if Burrow's backing me, the front office will have no choice but to pay up. But now, the tone has shifted. Burrow's still respectful. He said Hendrickson deserves to be taken care of, but he's also made it clear he doesn't blame the Bengals. That's a key signal. Because without Burrow actively putting pressure on the organization, Hendrickson's case becomes much harder to win. And if he follows through on his threat to sit out, it might hurt him more than it hurts the team. Sitting doesn't get him paid. It doesn't improve his position. In fact, it could weaken it further, especially if younger players step up during camp. The Bengals have a history of letting these situations play out deep into training camp or even into the preseason before finding a resolution, and that feels like where this is headed. It may not happen today or tomorrow, but if both sides are realistic and if Hendrickson recognizes the situation for what it is, a deal can still get done, and the Bengals can move forward with one of their best defenders still in the fold. This isn't the first time the Bengals have dealt with contract tension. And frankly, it's become part of their identity. From past holdouts to slow-moving negotiations, this kind of standoff is nothing new in Cincinnati. It's part of the reputation the franchise has carried for years. Conservative with money, deliberate with timing, and sometimes frustratingly slow to close the deal. But here's the truth. If the Bengals are serious about chasing a Super Bowl in the Burrow era, they can't afford to let defensive stars like Trey Hendrickson drift into limbo. Every distraction chips away at momentum. Every day wasted on contract drama is a day lost in building toward a championship season. Joe Burrow has made it clear. He's focused on football, not finger-pointing. And while that neutral stance might feel cold to Hendrickson's camp, it could also force a more realistic, faster negotiation from both sides. This situation has dragged long enough. It's time to get back to the bigger goal, winning in January and playing into February. That's the focus this team needs. That's the urgency the front office must match. Because with Burrow healthy and weapons all over the field, this window is open, but only for so long.